movie.
Did you get compared to?
Of course.
The,
What if he cheats? What if, how can you believe him?
if he cheats, I'm
you
gonna cheat.
broke up. No,
What?
I agree. Oh, oh,
Askaya,
oh no.
my childhood friend.
Oh, no.
He's my childhood
Wait.
Oh, no.
You two know each other?
Yeah, we know each other. You're
I
a
don't know.
bartender now?
Yeah.
Okay, make me some coffee. I need coffee right now.
Here, someone already drank a bit of
Oh,
it. I don't know who drank it, but someone
thank
already drank it.
you.
So do you two know each other?
No.
How is he look like when he was a child?
He looks like this, just less tall.
With all muscles?
No, he was so nerdy, kind
What?
of. He looks kind of nerdy.
What?
I remember you always talks about cartoons.
I still do, baby. Let's go.
Oh.
I still talk about cartoons and games. What are you doing here?
I just want to get coffee.
Oh, okay, yeah. The YouTube business kind of went really badly.
Yeah.
So now we're
We're opening a bar.
opening a bar.
Okay.
You know,
Is
if you
there
could-
a rules here where I can't speak my own language?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So well, this is actually recording. If you didn't know, too, you know, we're recording this. It needs to be in English.
Okay.
Or-
I didn't see that there was cameras.
Yeah, I know. It just went in, right? Yeah.
It's either in English or Mandarin. So pick.
Yeah, you have to
Girl, please. I can't speak not even a bit of Mandarin.
pick. You speak Mandarin now. Go.
I do, yeah.
You can speak Mandarin?
I'm preparing for the future.
No.
I think you were just in a movie, right?
Yeah.
You were just in a movie. How
Did you
that
watch
go?
it?
I have not. I'm so sorry.
It will be in video.com
Okay.
later.
What movie?
Rangga dan Cinta, it's a remake of Ada Apa Dengan Cinta.
Oh, remake of a classic. That's gonna be a
Yes,
big burden
classic.
on you.
Oh my god, it is. It was.
It's like people talking about it. Like
People talk about it. People talk negatively, positively, but it went pretty good.
Oh.
How do you feel about like? Because I mean, like I know some people will be like, because it's a big shoes to fill.
It is. It's a very iconic movie, which I know since I was like, elementary. I've been in love with that movie since I was small, and playing Cinta in that movie is a big burden at first, but I enjoyed the process so much, which makes me grateful being there.
Nice.
How are people's reactions?
It's like a wheel, you know. Sometimes
Uh-huh.
they're like happy about it, sometimes they're like intimidated with like what we're gonna give, because it's
Uh-huh.
everyone's favorite movie.
Did you get compared to?
Of course.
Dian?
That's a normal thing, because if I were the viewers, I would do the same. You know, I would do the same because it's like our favorite movies. You know?
Yeah.
And it's a one of the big like the Indonesian movie.
Yeah. In that era, Ada Apa Dengan Cinta is one of the top selling movies. If you didn't know.
You know my comparison to this? I'm still nerdy, by the way. My comparison is that this is like replacing Batman.
Girl, it's not like that.
No, because it's like
It's musical.
well, no, it's like recasting Batman. You know how
Yes.
Batman has been recasted many times.
Yeah.
And people either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's what happened.
Kind of.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Right?
What changed is that in this Rangga dan Cinta movie, we turned it into a musical.
Oh, okay.
So there's a musical essence.
Oh, do you sing as well?
Yeah.
Nice.
With emotions and theatrical moment and all that.
Is it different to sing in a musical?
Of
than
course,
in-
it's like 100% different for me, because we use our emotions and our thoughts and imaginations into music, if you understand.
Which
it's
one?
not like singing.
Which part is you like more? Just kind of like the usual, just like the regular acting, or like singing and then act?
It's interesting, actually. Acting feels real, but musical scenes felt like I'm in a fantasy. I'm in my own world. I'm in my own imaginations. It's interesting.
Okay.
You know, this is super off topic, but since you went here, I just realized, you know how I'm usually the optimistic one?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm usually like upbeat?
Yeah.
She's just so upbeat that
That
I became...
Really?
Yeah.
It beats your optimism.
No, yeah, it's I don't know why, because sometimes I'll be like, oh, I have to be nice, and I have to be like, you know, kind of like upbeat to make the show fine. But then here, I'm like, oh, I'm just chilling. I'm fine.
You don't have
I'm
to
just
use
gonna-
your
I'm just gonna
energy.
take a nap.
I just have a lot of energy because
Yeah.
I just went home from a vacation, so I'm so happy right now.
Where did you go? You said like Singapore?
With the one who played Alia in the movie. Alia is my
Okay.
best friend in the movie.
So you just like having like girls trip to
Yeah.
Singapore.
Yeah.
But why Singapore? There's nothing in Singapore.
No, it's because it's very spontaneous, and the only country that we can visit like fast
Is
is
Singapore.
Singapore.
I guess yeah, and then also like you have 9 other countries aside from Singapore that you can just go in Southeast Asia.
But my mom and dad only allows me to go to Singapore because it's safe.
Ah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
yeah, safe physically, not for your wallet.
Yeah. Singapore was the only one that I'm like I went to by myself because I know nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, what did you do there?
Nothing.
Nothing, right? You can't even shop because everything is just so expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like if I travel somewhere by myself, I like to do like adventures.
Me
you
too.
know, so like, yeah, Singapore is safe, but like, what's where's the fun?
I went on a slingshot 4 times.
Slingshot.
Slingshot. It's the adventure for me. I love it. Slingshot, the one
Slingshot?
you don't know slingshot?
It's
So-
a slingshot.
So it's like a
It's kind of like a amusement park ride.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
So you sit down and
Oh, I hate that so much.
I know.
Oh, I hate that so much.
I love it. You do twice every day
Oh my god.
there.
Why?
Because I love it. Makes me happy.
And there's nothing else in Singapore. aside
yes,
from
and there's nothing else we
slingshot.
can do. We have no itinerary. We just go to slingshot.
I mean, like at slingshot, I am so afraid to do those kind of things, and I don't know why. Because like, here's the thing: if I need to do something, like let's say a flip or like something like that, that is my own responsibility, right? If I fail, that's my own problem.
You overthink too much.
No.
Just do it.
No, that's the thing.
Have you watched Final Destination?
Girl, it's only
Exactly.
the movies.
It's happened.
Back to the movie.
It happened.
It happens.
There's
Ya udah.
there's an amusement park rides that fails.
Ya Udin,
Exactly.
you do you do you, I do me, okay? I want to do slingshot, just let me.
A slingshot, which one is that? It's going up and down, right?
Yeah, you got catapult up.
You get catapult.
yeah, it's like
and
you, boom, gitu.
you get catapult, it breaks, you just fly.
yeah,
What do you mean, yeah? You're okay with
yeah,
that?
yeah, I'm okay with that.
Hey,
As long as I'm happy.
At least if she dies doing what she loves.
I'm here,
true.
guys.
Slingshot.
I'm here. I'm here.
You know
I'm
what?
not dead.
You do what you like. You know, you do
thank
what you
you.
like. For my place I want to travel to, I used to always want to go to Japan, but then I go there
Mm-hmm.
already. Now I want to go to like the Northern Islands, like Sweden
Mm.
or like
Norway. Like all that Scandinavian.
Yeah, Scandinavian places.
It's gonna be very cold. Though.
Yeah, but I heard it's like peaceful
Mm.
and like it's just chill.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
Finland is the happiest country.
Really?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who
Finland,
said that?
Me.
Everyone. It's like based on statistic, Finland is the happiest country in the
That's
world.
true.
But this is also funny in my head because at the same time, Finland also have the highest suicide rates.
Oh yeah.
So the reason they're the happiest country in the world because all the depressed are dead.
If you ask North Koreans, I'm sure they'll be like, "I'm so happy."
I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to say anything about North Koreans. This is kind of dangerous to say.
You know that they banned jeans?
What?
Jeans?
North Korea banned a lot of things. They banned
No jeans. Why jeans?
because it's too Western. They ban jeans.
King.
They ban hot dog
Because
because
it's
again,
American?
it's too Western, too
Okay.
American. It's so weird. That country is so weird.
Wait, how did you actually get the job? Did you join a casting or
Yeah.
you joined a
No,
casting?
someone contacted my manager to ask me to come and go casting.
Okay.
And so I did because it's like my favorite movie and I didn't expect for me to get into the movie.
So you watched the first movie when you were
Elementary.
elementary school.
I don't have to think about like the age difference because we're the same age.
Yeah,
So I'm
the
like, I
release
was
date of the
also-
first movie is when we were not even born.
Oh, I was also Yeah, no. What was I doing in elementary school? I have no idea.
You are friends. You could
That's
become
true.
friends.
I don't know.
We used to play in PIM when I was K1, I think. K1 and you were also K1.
You
Yeah,
two are the
unless
same
I
age.
fail. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't remember?
Of course I do.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Of course I remember.
He
Of
said,
course.
he said, I remember as he facing his back. turning his back
Of course,
around.
I have very bad memory.
Yeah.
I will not let. What do you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, you already told us a few times that he has bad memories.
I
In the
know.
last podcast, you told my dad that you have really bad memory.
And you even forgot that you did a podcast.
And you
No,
said
I remember I did a podcast. But I don't remember that I.
and you said that you forgot what you ate that day.
Yeah, that's true. What did I eat today too?
That kan?
I don't know. This is one of the things that I'm scared about when like doing a film. Because what if I just can't, for the life of me, remember the script?
Oh yeah. How's that gonna like work if you forgot script? Does someone yell your line?
The key is do not remember the dialogue, but you have to remember the feeling of the dialogue. Like you have to know what the role is feeling that time at the moment and what the inner monologue is talking about.
So basically, you change your identity, right? Will you did you have like
An identity crisis? Yes. Yes, for a very long time, maybe for like 6 months.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
6 months?
Yeah, the thing is, I was filming in high school. Last year of high school, I was doing a project about ethical dilemma of how roles affect lives. I was doing a research about Heath Ledger of how he is affected by his role.
Yeah, method acting. as a
Yeah,
Joker.
method acting, and I was like writing like you shouldn't, any actor shouldn't write shouldn't use method acting, but I was doing method acting, so I kemakan omongan sendiri, tau gak guys? And I was like, it's a bad way to try acting in the first time of acting because I was 17, 18, and I think it's the year where I am still looking for who I am, and I experienced identity crisis for a while.
So you just thought yourself as Cinta.
No, not like that. But I just like being in that world which doesn't exist, and I love being in that era in the early 2000s. And I just wished every day that this era looks like that.
So
You don't
you-
have nothing in the era of 2000.
Yeah. So I bought vinyls. I bought radio.
Oh, you just really
Yeah.
go all in the like vintage stuff.
But I love that. It's nothing negative. What's negative is just I sometimes are just drowned in my own imaginations at night.
So you just like thinking of thought that you live in that era.
I live in that movie.
Okay.
Well, why did you do method acting in the first place then?
I didn't
Why did-
realize I was doing method acting.
Okay.
No one usually realized that.
Like how long the
Process.
shoot, the process, the production?
The post-production was 6 months. The filming was 45 days.
45
And before
days.
filming, it's about 6 months, 5 months.
I guess it's kind of like understandable though, because like it needed 21 days to create new habit, but it's like you did that for 45 days, so in your head it's just kind of like, yeah, this is what I do.
Yeah, and I
know.
spent more of my time in the filming area other than my school.
Oh.
You know?
So you just became that character then,
Yeah,
basically.
not really. It's just I am more comfortable there, you know. And I was like, oh no, I miss my friends. But I just can't remember what I used to do.
I miss my friends. Who are they?
No, it's not like that. It's not like that. I just
like-
can't remember
it's like,
what I used to listen.
Who's my parents?
That's awful. Well, you know, method acting is such a funny thing to me. It's such a funny concept because you can have like someone like Heath Ledger, the Joker, right? He was the best Joker
Yeah.
ever. But it also cost him a lot of things.
Tragically, yeah.
And then you get the Suicide Squad Joker.
Jared Leto is nah.
He was method acting by just gifting his co-stars rats. And
Dead
that-
rats.
Dead rats. And then, yeah, it happened. And then I was like, why? Why? And then he made people say, like, for the Tron movie, I think, he made people say Ares to call him. Like, he wanted people to call him by his character's name. And then,
It's weird.
Yeah, right? And then I'm like, what is going on?
No, maybe it depends on what character are you playing, because Joker is someone who's crazy.
It was like,
That's why maybe it's kind of affecting everyone else. But the character that I'm playing is just a normal teenager.
which is you are.
Which is-
normally.
which is-
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm not that indecisive. Chinta is very indecisive and very by the book, and yeah, that is what changed.
So you're like very decisive. So
Yeah.
you're one of the few women that can tell what they want for dinner.
Usually I used to be like that, but now not anymore. Not anymore.
You know something I figured out? I am now just learning. I am so bad at figuring out what I want for dinner.
Really?
Yeah, and I just learned that. This is horrible.
Like
So-
now?
No, not now, but like recently, right? So I always think that, oh, you know, girls are not good at picking food, right? And then that's always in my head. So my solution is that, oh, I'll just be like, so what do you want? And then if they don't want anything, then I'll be like, I'll name things until they say yes, right? I've done that so many times to the point where I can't do it now. So if someone asks, hey, what do you want for dinner?
What do you want?
I'm like, what do you want?
You'll be like, name 5 things.
Name 5 things and I'll pick one. Yeah, no, I do actually want to join more or less the movie companies.
You
now,
you
like,
want like acting as well, or like
Yeah.
filmmaking?
both, kind of. I want to join the acting, but to be honest, I am also very interested in filmmaking.
Filmmaking is so interesting.
Yeah,
Seriously.
because I did a couple classes of filmmaking in high school, and those were very interesting. I was horrible, mind you. I was really bad, but it was very interesting because I have like creative freedom.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about acting is that sometimes, unless you're a very famous actor, you don't have much give. You don't have much like leeway, right? Whatever the director wants, you have to do it. As a filmmaker, as like the writer or the director, whatever you say goes, right?
Yes.
So it really is just in your imagination.
So you just want to play God.
yeah.
Just want to
But
be
there,
God.
there
in
are
your
so many
world.
roles in filmmaking. You just have to choose which one you're passionate about,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you have to be really focused on that.
Yeah.
Do
See,
you-
that's the bad thing.
Would you
I'm not-
rather? Would you be like the one, you know, the director, the producer, the
See, that's the bad thing.
maker?
I am very indecisive.
We're 19. What can
There
we
you go.
say?
I will name 5 things.
Okay, name 5 things and I'll pick one. No, what I'm like, because I want to be like a jack of all trades. I want to learn everything, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to learn how to be an actor. I want to learn how to act, but I also want to learn how to like have good cinematography. I want to learn how to direct people. I want to learn like how to say lighting works or things like that, you know. But I don't know. It'll take a while. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's more of a like, you can learn things, but like, which you will find what you're passionate about when you do
yeah.
it, right? Like, just like you now, like, are you passionate about movie situation?
I'm very passionate about it.
Okay.
I'm very passionate about the making.
About the making,
About
as
the
well?
making,
about
like-
the production.
Yeah, the production.
Do you give your own ideas during that? Do you be like,
Sometimes I just discuss what I feel with my director, and like sometimes my director can just say like something like this. If you don't feel like you want to cry, you can just feel whatever you feel. gitu.
That's a good relationship between like the actors and the filmmaker, though.
I think you just had a really good director then.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess I love
Yeah.
my director.
Because
so
like
much.
like you said that you got casted into this movie, right? Because I remember this just like come to my mind now. Do you guys know Maya Hawke, Ethan Hawke's daughter?
Yeah.
She said in an interview one time that she almost didn't get the role of in Stranger Things because she doesn't have enough followers on Instagram. So like right now, this is like in the Western world, they would rather have someone that have like big followers, right? Big followings online instead of like can act.
Yeah.
That's why like all these influencers doing the movies. But like I don't think it's happened here, or at least not yet.
Some industry in Indonesia still do things
Still
like that
do
because
things.
they need to sell their movie. It's realistic.
You
they need
know-
to sell their movie.
Yeah.
But some industry also search for quality over quantity.
Yeah, but like if you choose like influencers who never act to be in a movie,
It happens a lot in Indonesia.
Oh, yeah?
That's
yeah.
true.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
well, I guess I mean yeah, you can learn how to act, but like to a certain level, I guess.
It happens in Indonesia. Sometimes
Happens a
you
lot.
you get appreciation because you're famous and because you're pretty, not because you're talented and because you're smart. it happens a lot in Indonesia.
Silly, we live in a society.
All right, Joker. Here's the thing. I don't know what to say. Actually. I kind of agree with how it works here, kind of, because now do I agree with putting like random influencers into movies? Maybe you gotta check if they can act first.
Yeah.
But not as the main character.
Even then, like if they're like decent in acting, then like fair enough. What I'm thinking is, it is honestly better-ish there, rather than like you put someone random, someone that you don't know, no followers, really good at acting, horrible at commercializing it, horrible at talking, horrible at like public speaking. Because the only person I know that can do that is Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy is horrible at public speaking, but he's an amazing actor. But how many Cillian Murphys are there out there?
But there is someone who's responsible for the marketing.
The PR.
Fair. But then if you're giving interviews and then you can't talk,
They have classes for that.
well then they have classes for acting too, right?
Yeah, right.
There we go.
But then I guess like it depends on like how on the person taking it, if they're taking it seriously or not.
Yeah.
If they just kind of like it's just like one time gig, one time thing, and then that's it, and they just don't put more thought into it, instead of like, oh, I really want to get into this, just changing my stuff, changing my personality, changing my character and all.
It all depends on the project, guys.
Okay.
Like if the project is full of people who's passionate in their own job, working for one goal, it would be good. But if everyone's just doing their job because they have to, it would be different.
Yeah. What's it called? Love your job.
Yeah, we can
Type of
feel it if
things.
someone loved their job. We can feel it if we watch a movie and we just knew that someone who made it is very in love with their project.
I
We
agree.
can feel it.
You said that before, when after the filming, you kind of stuck in that character.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do to get out of that?
I changed my hair.
That
I change
works?
my hair. I go to Singapore. I go to Japan. I just play with my old friends. I try to remember what I used to do, what I used to love. I used to love painting, and I did that again. And I love reading books. Chinta loves reading books. That's the problem. And so I tried reading English literature again. I tried watching the movies that I used to love again, and it works.
Well, how long did it stuck with you again? The character.
The character,
Yeah.
6 months.
6 months, and
Yeah,
then you can basically solve that by doing what you used to like, right? Is there anything that stick with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I think now I love sastra Indonesia more than English literature. Because
Oh,
I used to love English novels more.
okay.
I used to write English literature. I used to always read Jane Austen and William Shakespeare, but now I am in love with Indonesian literature more.
Okay, how about the opposite? Is there anything about Cinta that is about you actually? Did you put anything about you in that
Yeah.
character?
Oh yeah.
There's this one scene in Rangga dan Cinta where she was getting ready and she was very excited. Which I know Cinta is not that girly, not that feminine, but I put a little bit of myself there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like a little bit of feminine touch.
Yeah. I was jumping in the bed and singing and getting ready.
Was
So
it-
me.
Was that the director's thing, or was that you asking to do that?
We discussed about it.
Okay.
Yeah. I told him that if you want me to be really happy in this, because he wants me to be all butterfly and sunshine and rainbow, and I told him I'm really giggly. Like, I giggle a lot when I'm happy. Okay, you can do that. I love your giggles. And I was like, okay.
Okay. Yeah. When you're trying to like get away from this character, is there anything that like affecting your, let's say, your parents or your family? There's like something's wrong, but we cannot tell. Or something's different.
Yeah.
You know.
My best friends always tell me, you used to love jazz so much. Why are you listening to something that you never listened to before? And I was like, I don't know. And like, I used to always love my hair being wavy. And when I was Cinta, my hair is straight and black. It's just so not me. And that's the basic thing. And I was very indecisive.
Okay.
It was so easy for me to get mad. so easy for me
Really?
to lose my temper. Yeah, because Cinta is like that. Sometimes Cinta can just be so mad at Rangga, and sometimes she's just very giggly and some mood swings. I was not like that.
I think I have. I've never actually played in a movie, right? So I wouldn't know anything about that. But I am like, I take characters that I see or watch into me.
Oh, you
and
just
I
like
feel like that's really
sponge
weird.
it, you know?
Yeah, like anything. I was reading Journey to the West, and I learned how to use a bow staff because of Wukong. So I learned how to do like tricks with it. And then I watched Daredevil, and then I learned how to do
To do the baton.
and then I learned how to do a backflip. I learned how to do cartwheels, things like that, because of that character. And then I think that's like a tiny bit of what you're feeling, but not at all,
Yeah.
because you're actually that character now, right? Well, before, but like I think.
Hey, she changed her hair already.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Your hair has changed, so you're no longer that character.
Thank you.
What about any good things about your character, Cinta? Right?
So many good things.
Is there things that you learned from that character?
I learned from the love story that she is very gengsian. What is gengsian?
Very. I think that's one of the Indonesian
What
words
is
that we cannot translate.
Gengsian in
Gengsian.
English? Yeah, I got it.
Yeah,
Okay,
and-
I kind of get it.
Yeah, and
Okay.
she did not tell the truth about how she really felt about this guy to her friends, and she ended up losing both friendship and love, and that is what I learned. I learned how to be truthful and how to understand myself.
And maybe communication is key.
It is a tsundere. Okay.
Cinta chooses. Cinta thought that she has to choose between friendship and love.
Okay.
I used to value friendship more than love, but now I understand that we have to be balanced.
Yeah.
And we have to understand both. That's the positive thing about
As someone with a boyfriend, talk about this.
it. Yeah. Talk about it, please.
I mean, like, look, your friends. It's better to have balance,
Right.
Like in my opinion, like I always introduce my boyfriend when we started dating to all my friends.
Okay.
If all my friends or like people that matters in my life saying like, "Are you sure?" Then there's gonna be something that I don't see in this man, that they see that I just refuse to see.
You're blinded by love.
Exactly.
I have a very bad I have a very bad tendency of doing that because like I need like a North Star, and my North Star is my father. So he's the one that like if something is really bad, he'll say it. You know, that's basically what my North Star is, right? So if I have a girlfriend, all my friends say, I will not listen to that.
You just listen to your dad.
because here's the thing, I am in the relationship. I feel like I would know more.
Yeah, but what if your
Right.
dad also say like,
Exactly. That's why he's my North Star. Because if he says, then I'm like, okay, maybe there is something wrong.
Why do we have to listen what other people said? Why
so
can't we just listen to our heart?
you don't listen to your father?
I haven't experienced something like that, so I
So-
don't know yet.
So like have you have you in a relationship before?
Yeah, once.
Did your father okay with the relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe that's why.
Oh yeah. Maybe that's why.
I've had. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, not listening to other people, fine, that's okay. It depends though.
it depends.
Yeah, it's
Right.
depends.
Yeah, because if my friends all talk about my girlfriend, I would still defend her.
Yeah.
I would definitely defend her. That's the thing. But
It
if
makes you also
it
thinking
makes me
about
think
it.
first, right?
Exactly.
Iya juga ya, kenapa ya gitu?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
but why? And then I listen to it. I'll be like, what the f- are you guys talking about?
Yeah,
and then I'll listen to it.
You can defend your partner in public, but still question why.
Exactly, yeah. You gotta defend. That's the thing about family. You gotta
Yeah.
defend your family in public.
Defend them in public, but question
And then
why.
talk shit about it. Exactly. If your friends, let's say you have a boyfriend, okay? And if your friends say like, oh, this is a bad person for you, what would you think?
I would ask them why.
It's more of a like your friend say like oh yeah, I heard from someone
like
that
that,
your
like that.
I would ask
boyfriend
my
is
boyfriend.
this.
I would ask him.
Then your boyfriend's like, oh, of course not. I would never do that.
Okay, I trust you.
Okay,
That's
now,
simple.
now what if your dad says it?
What if your dad was like, hey, break up with that
Is
man?
there a proof?
No, but he also said, "Oh, I heard from
I'm a
someone."
very open-minded person when it comes to relationships, so I will ask everyone.
Okay, but what if your dad said, "Oh, I heard from someone that he's bad news"?
He's a player. He cheated a
Yeah,
lot.
he's still with someone when you're together.
Yeah.
But you don't know that.
But you don't know
said
that.
that he heard.
I'm gonna ask him.
Okay, and then he
that has
says,
to be
"Of course
truthful.
not."
And then he will be like, no, we broke up long time ago.
That is a therapy.
my ex is just psychotic.
Exactly.
There's just this one thing that I believe in Semesta. I believe if I'm a good person, I will get a good boyfriend. So I just won't think about this.
Yeah, yes, you need to listen to your guts.
Yeah.
But like you need to also listen to other people's
If
guts.
that case happens, ya udah putus.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
If he cheated, break up.
But you don't have the proof.
I don't have the then don't break up.
Oh my god.
Repot banget. Punya pacar juga enggak. Maaf.
Are we
English.
talking to Leah or Cinta right now?
Lea.
The story about Cinta was like
Basically
Yeah.
that, you know?
Right.
Indecisive.
I can't judge myself. You guys judge me, okay?
No. We listen, we don't judge.
we listen but we don't judge.
Okay.
Exactly.
We don't judge out loud.
You know something funny? I thought that if we asked about your dad saying that, you'd be like, "Oh, I'd listen to him."
I
thought
listen
that's
to
what-
him.
Yeah.
If it makes sense.
You close with your dad?
I'm very close with my dad.
Yeah, that's why I was like kind of trying to fish that
You're
out.
very close with your dad.
I'm
too.
very close to my
Oh,
dad.
you're
That's-
trying to get into that conversation.
No, what I mean
no.
is because I said that my dad is my North Star. So I was implying that your dad would be that too. But then from what I heard, you're like, oh,
You
if
do-
there
you
is
don't
specific
listen to your dad.
information, you know?
There's never really the case.
Okay.
So I don't know how to imagine it.
But like, is there a case where you want to do something that your dad would be like, yeah, maybe not?
Yeah. But not about guys though.
What about
We talk about love a lot, but we talk about passion and dreams more.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a much safer thing to talk about with your parents.
No, you
No.
talk about everything with your dad, right?
I talk about everything
I
with
talk
my dad,
about
but here's the
everything
thing.
with
I talk.
I don't.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. You have some coffee.
What I mean is like I talk about everything to my dad. You're right. Most of the time now, at least, I talk about like what business and like just like what I'm feeling, things like that, and more realistic stuff. Because the last time I talked about girls, we fought
Because
because he disagreed with something. I disagreed with him disagreeing, and
Oh, it's the physical
and
fight?
yeah, and then we
but
we
the thing
fought.
is, you are both male,
Yeah. Okay.
so that's why you have the same vision and same perspective of how you see girls.
No, but we have very different perspectives. That's the difference. He was thinking one thing, I was thinking another thing,
Alright.
and then we fist fight it. So that was
Okay.
really bad. I don't know.
Because you're close with your dad, right? Do you ever trying to look in a man that like kind of like your dad?
Always.
Yeah?
Always. The way my dad treats me, not the way my dad treats his lover, but the way my dad treats me, that's how I want to be treated because I enjoy that from the moment I was born. You know,
The princess treatment.
princess treatment.
Yeah,
But it's-
don't settle less.
But that doesn't mean I am looking for a guy that has to be exactly like my dad. No, I'm not like that. I'm very flexible. It's just that I know how men things by my dad. You know, I ask him. I sometimes ask him, what does it mean when guys do this? And my dad tells me how a man thinks. That's just all I need from him.
Yeah, I asked my mom, what does it mean when a woman does this, this, blah, 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 blah. What? I don't get it.
If a woman says she is fine, she is not fine.
How do you think you're gonna manage? You had a boyfriend before,
I
but
had a boyfriend.
how did you manage like work life with that kind of life?
With love life,
Yeah.
well, love life is just a part of your life that you're gonna experience later on.
Yeah, but like I mean the time management,
Yeah, the
everything.
schedule.
What needs time management is education and career.
I kind of disagree because here's the thing. Like, let's say that you're dating, let's say another celebrity or whatever, okay? and you have to go to another country for work. He has to go to another country for work. And like you guys don't meet that often, or maybe you need to go to that country just to meet him, and then you go back. A lot of people are fans of him or something like that. A lot of people are fans of you.
I'm 19. I don't really think about that deeply because you know, love and career, I don't think we can mix them, you know.
I feel like I think in a relationship,
What
every relationship should have this base like trust, respect, and communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because what we're looking for in life is friends for life, right? Not a partner that you can just come when you want to and you can just leave them when you're
Okay.
bored.
What about friends then? Like,
Friends?
let's say because you said that you were doing the shooting for a while already, right?
Yeah, you don't see
And
your
you don't
friends
see your friends that
as
much.
much.
How do you feel about
But I
that?
still see them, just not that much.
And are
but-
you okay with it?
But they understand that because
Okay.
everyone has their own life and they have their own dreams and passion. And I think that it's okay for us to go in our separate ways when, at the end of the day, when we're having a bad day, we're having a bad moments in our life, we can just sit in the table and just spill our secrets and all that, you know, with friends.
That's the thing about friends that I learned. I had to cut a lot of people off because of the fact that they can't do that. Like the friends that I have now are the ones that I don't have to meet for a year. And I can just like
Yeah.
show up and be
The-
like, hey, you
Yeah.
know, and everything's the same.
The older you get, the smaller your friend circle.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? And that's what I'm also realizing because I have to. The ones that I'm cutting off are the people that like, hey, where the hell are you? You know, like let's hang out now, let's hang out later, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I can't, you know. And I'm guessing that's what your friends are,
Yeah.
the ones that you don't have to meet them at all.
No, we
Yeah.
have to find those who felt like home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same like love life too. You have to find those who felt like home.
Man, I've been doing long distance for 3 years.
And that's
Yeah,
okay.
see, I don't know how you survived that.
That's
that-
okay.
It's trust, respect, and communicate. Cause like he's also like working in the nightlife, right? He's a DJ event manager and
Abroad?
all. Abroad. He live in Vietnam.
What if he cheats? What if? How can you believe him?
If he cheats, I'm
you
gonna
broke
cheat.
up. No,
What?
I agree. I agree with that.
No, if you don't like being treated like that, then don't treat him like that, though.
Fair.
No, eye for an eye.
You don't do revenge.
You know what?
Always do revenge. Revenge
This
tastes
is the
sweet.
difference between a father who hits their child and a father who does not hit their child.
Listen, hit them back. You know, that's what I did.
This is the effect of the father. The father has the
Your
effect.
dad hits you, hit them back. Learn martial arts, punch them back. It's fine. I just realized you did not come here with a problem, did you?
With a problem? What problem?
Do you have like issues like
Everyone
daddy's
has-
issues?
No, everyone has problems.
Do you have daddy issues?
Um, no.
No.
That was a very long
I don't-
pause before you said no.
Not very convincing.
You know, let's not talk about
problems. I'm very positive right now.
Let's take a word for it. You know, maybe
Okay.
not. Usually people come here because they have a problem and we solve it. But I don't think you have a problem at
You
all.
guys have problems. I will solve it.
Oh yeah, we have problems.
So when I was a child,
You can tell me.
and you know what? Since you don't have a problem, we don't need to fix anything. That means you can go. Here's the bill.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I. Thank you.
Wait,
you just
the drink,
took the
the drink is
bill?
ours. And the bill,
You
you
haven't
gotta pay
paid.
for that.
No, but kung di situ.